Humidus Podcast.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is the Humidus Podcast once more with me, Steph, and with me, of course, my good co-host, Dan Gan.
Hello.
And today, we're going to talk about the very poisonous, incestuous cesspool of politics called House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
What a show. At the time of recording, 6 episodes are out, and we're gonna cover our thoughts from episode 1 up until 6. I guess we'll split it between non-spoiler and spoiler. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Just, I guess our basic impressions first.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, first up, what did you think so far?
I'm sort of mixed. I enjoy the feeling and the sort of the pace of Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just finding it hard to care for most of the characters and plot lines.
Yeah.
What about you?
I guess I'm mixed positive on it. I've enjoyed myself so far. Especially the last episode, I felt they really started to hit their stride. I feel like that's the episode where now it feels more like Game of Thrones again, you know, because the politics, the intrigue, all factors of it just ramped up to 11. So I did enjoy that. The previous episodes, there are some characters I feel are fairly compelling, and others not so much.
Yeah, but a lot of the characters are compelling to me. It's just I haven't been given any incentive or reason to actually care that much.
Yeah, and I guess that's because they go through a fair amount of years pretty fast. At least that's the way I feel about it, because in Game of Thrones, you follow characters over a very long stretch of time. It takes its time with it. Here, I wouldn't say it's rushed necessarily, but yeah. And also, of course, I also feel that quite a few of the characters here are so morally gray, in fact, that they'll do some things that are nice in one scene, and then the next they'll do some kind of harrowing, crazy thing that makes you be like, man, I can't like this character after all. Of course, Damon most of everyone, but I feel like there's a facet of this for all the characters.
Yeah, probably. Damon is the most interesting character to me.
He is the most interesting. I agree. But do you like him though?
Parts of him, I guess.
Would you be friends with him if you were in that world?
I think I would want to be friends with him. From a safety standpoint.
Yeah. The guy you go drinking with every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's he's obviously extremely fucked up, probably for a wealth of reasons we don't know. I don't know, he entertains me and he intrigues me. A lot of the characters bore me.
Yeah.
It's funny, I felt like I enjoyed the series the most at the start. And then I've slowly grown to, I don't know, be less interested, I guess.
I see. Yeah. I mean, let's get one thing out of the way, though. This is not up to the standard of original Game of Thrones while it was still good.
No.
Not even close. The first, I guess, 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were...
It's actually, isn't it 6? Isn't there 8 total?
There is 8 total, but I feel like the show started to nosedive from 6 onwards.
Yeah, I feel like House House of the Dragon this far is more Game of Thrones than the last seasons of Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah, season 8 was a humongous letdown and dumpster fire.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate season 8, but I hate 7 as well. I think it's horrible.
Yeah, I don't remember much of 7 to be honest, and that should tell you something.
No.
But as soon as people started having plot armor, that's when you know that, oh, okay, Martin has left the building, you know?
Yeah.
It just turned into this fucking generic, not even generic, kind of like below par fantasy show after they stopped following the books completely.
Yeah, I think I remember watching the scene in the last episode or close to the last where like all of the cool characters we've gotten to know just they have this get together in fucking what's it called, Stark City,
Winterfell.
yeah, and it's like it almost feels like just like fan service,
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah,
It's like, here, watch all these characters interact.
yeah.
And it's like,
And
I had a physical reaction to that whole thing.
the only thing I enjoyed about season 8 was Tormund Giantsbane.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was himself. The rest of the characters, they felt like some kind of weird husk of the characters.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess we're going besides the point.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon. I mean, it's a solid show overall. I feel it's not bad at all. It has some episodes that are fairly, boring. But then it also has some episodes that really intrigue me, like especially the last one and the first one. So, and I'm really excited to see what happens from now on, because I mean, I know the story, and I do know that now is when things are starting to really get rolling. There's going to be a lot of messed up happenings, a lot of blood, and a huge downwards spiral,
Yeah.
And there are some characters upcoming that I am excited to see. So, I don't know. Otherwise, how would you say, if this was a standalone show, how would you rate it, do you think?
It's hard. It's hard to imagine like not, or Game of Thrones not existing, and looking at this. I would probably like it a bit less, I think. Maybe I wouldn't appreciate the very slow pace and setup that is very much this show,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you think you'd like it?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I would finish it.
No.
It's something about being bombarded by, I guess, solid products on 1,000 different streaming services, not to mention, on the games front, on the movie front. There's so much coming out these days that something needs to be very standout in order for me to, like, really sit down and finish the whole thing and just be thoroughly enjoyed throughout,
Yeah, I actually, honestly, like episode 5 and 6, I've had to almost force myself to sit down and watch it.
Okay, interesting.
Not like I don't want to. It's just there's other stuff,
Yeah, I know. I get and that's kind of how I feel about. Well, not so much about this show, but I have that issue with Rings of Power. Sadly. But, there were like 3 shows I was watching concurrently, and, one was this one, then there was Rings of Power, and then there was Primal. And out of the 3, Primal is the one that I felt just completely knocked it out of the park, had me riveted throughout, emotionally and just excitedly invested, Loved every part of it, and this one is like, yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out. Rings of Power, you know, I'm still 2 episodes behind.
Hmm.
So I'm just I'm feeling the fatigue. Is that the word for it?
Maybe.
It's just a lot coming out these days.
Yeah.
And I feel like this, let's say this is a 7 out of 10 show so far.
Yeah.
And with that amount of fatigue, the 7 out of 10s tend to, you know, kind of disappear into the woodworks, you know?
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, there are still things about this show that I liked. This episode in particular, I felt when they switched the characters. So now they did a time skip, so now it's the older actors. I think they did that fairly well. And so far, I think one of the really good parts about the show has been the actors.
Mm-hmm.
I think they portrayed their characters very well, and they were cast really well. And of course, Matt Smith as Damon is still in the show. I did like Millie Alcock as Rhaenyra as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, Rhaenyra, was it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
There you go. But I was kind of excited to see how I would feel about the new actor filling in the role for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt, you know, she did a pretty good job. It didn't take me much to get accustomed to her at all.
No, she was very look-alike.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. The Allison got a new actor as well, right?
Yeah.
That was more or less the only ones.
I guess
Maybe Damon's
Laenor?
wife.
Yeah, and Laenor.
Oh yeah.
There were a few, and then there were others that just stayed, like Paddy Considine and
Got some beard and.
yeah, yeah. And I think, and of course you got all the kids that grew up a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think of Aegon? His introduction.
I don't remember the introduction. He was the one who stood in the window, right?
Yeah, sure was.
Yeah, well, I remember that. I remember him sparring.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a dick.
Yeah.
You know, what
Yeah.
you'd expect a prince to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seems about right. Well, okay. I guess let's just do the ratings real fast, and then we can just jump into spoilers because I feel like there's a lot to talk about there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, this is a 7 thus far. It's decent. It's well produced. Has a very uneven pacing, very uneven episodes. But I'm very intrigued to see where it goes from here. How about you?
I think I was at an 8 maybe when the show started,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just the fact that I'm like getting less interested as time goes on. I'm probably down in the 6. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
So, it's better than the latter part of Thrones.
Yeah, by a mile.
Yeah. So it's not dog shit, not even close.
No,
But
it might
it's-
be colored by the good things we had from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Maybe. Not sure.
Yeah, it's not quite enough to salvage Thrones yet, but it's getting there. It could get there. I hope it picks up.
Yeah, I think you have to delete like the last seasons from existence to sort of. Oh.
Yeah, and then not go ahead with the fucking Arya series. She was so poorly written in the end that I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Gave her teleportation powers and all that kind of shit. I just no.
Yeah, what are the people's verdict of the show? I haven't paid attention.
Let me check IMDb real quick. Let me see here. What? What? Oh, okay. I think we are a little bit in a minority.
No, Steph, it's just that, you know, most people aren't as, you know, intellectual as us.
Of course. Why didn't I think about that?
That's the problem here.
For an intellectual, I sure as hell didn't think of that. Yeah.
No, it's pretty high. This shocks me. But
Pop culture giga chads as we are.
if you actually look at the reviews here, they might tell another tale.
Could be, but I see it sits at an 8.7 out of 10 by 142,000 votes. That's very high. Oh well, I mean,
most of what I'm seeing here is 1 of 10 up till 6 of 10.
The user reviews?
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not a 1 out of 10.
No.
It's far from it, because 1 out of 10 is like a fucking... That's gotta be like a dysfunctional... That's like a product that's not even coherent, you know, and fails on every aspect, you know?
Yeah, but it's definitely not at 8.7 either.
No, it's not, especially not IMDb 8.7, because that tends to be a very high bar.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna find another 8.7 show here just to see.
Yeah, well,
Dark, the German show, has the same rating.
that one's supposed to be really good. I actually
that one
haven't
is
seen it.
insanely good, and
Okay.
it's like 0.2 stars off Better Call Saul. So this is, yeah, fake news.
I mean, you also got Black Mirror, and
Yeah,
Narcos.
yeah,
Narcos.
yeah.
Narcos is 8.7.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, this is not even close to that.
No, no.
Dragon Ball Z, excuse me. Is House of the Dragon better than Goku and Friends? Absolutely not.
Actually, on that point, I think most people would disagree with you.
What do you mean? Do you think they
I
would
think the
say
average,
Dragon Ball is worse?
the average House of the Dragon watcher does not watch Dragon
no,
Ball.
of course not. This is just my personal opinion.
It's the right opinion, though.
It sure as hell is.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, yeah, I expect this to mellow out
Probably.
as more people vote. But also, I mean, it could just be that if my hopes are right, that the show is gonna pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, as it seemed like in the last episode, and to an extent the episode before, towards the end at least, then maybe it'll get to that point. But as a whole, just no. Anyway, I guess we'll head into spoilers. So you've been warned if you haven't seen the show. I mean, I guess if you want to see fantasy, then you know it's solid. You can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the worst. It's a decently entertaining time. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe you'll just think our opinions are the most stupid thing that's ever been pulled out of the ether. But you know, be warned. It's not top tier.
Maybe you're really into dragons, then you should
In that
probably give
case.
it a go.
Yeah, the dragons are cool. I'll give it that. Different designs, and you really get to see more types, which is nice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, without further ado, we'll jump into spoilers. And man, Kristen Cole is such a fucking bitch. That fucking guy, man. I liked him in the beginning, but as soon as he got rejected, I saw these memes about like boys before and after they get rejected, and it's just like this guy. It's just like, you know what, princess? How about you say fuck it to all your everything you've grown up with, all of it, you know, all your responsibilities, all your ambitions, all that. Fuck that. Join me and get married. Which, you know, it's a sweet gesture, I guess.
Yeah.
But she wasn't. She didn't even. She came with a compromise, and he's like, "Oh, so I'm gonna be your whore. Well, fuck you then. I'm gonna be your enemy forever."
Yeah, it's like
I was like,
you can live, you can work in this amazing place, and you can have like limitless, like close to limitless money and stuff, and
Yeah.
never worry about a thing, and we can fuck all the time, just on public.
yeah.
He's like,
He got like 1930s work whistle angry.
yeah, it's not like the guys in like the like this universe has like high standards for relationships and stuff, you know. It's more or less fuck and toss.
Yeah, and I mean, sure. I can understand that he got a bit hurt.
Yeah, of course, sure.
But like, just to make her your mortal enemy after that, it's just like, fuck. I'm not even gonna consider this. It's the worst thing I've ever heard. My day's ruined. Just man. And then he just smashes Joffrey. Also for just because he knows, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt that as well. Like that was his reasoning. He can't be like that fucking stupid. Oh, the guy that's gonna marry the girl I love, I'm gonna kill his boyfriend.
You know, I have a sneaking feeling that was part of it too for a second.
Maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. I got a very, juvenile satisfaction from seeing Harvin beat the shit out of him, though.
Yeah.
And Harvin was such I see everybody, a lot of the fans are calling him Daddy Harvin and stuff. They're like really thirsting over him. And then he has like 5 minutes of screen time, and then he dies. That felt pretty Game of Thronesy, though, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I felt really for the Strong family in general, like his father as well, the Hand of the King. He's gotta be like the most honorable character and likable character so far, just across the board, because Viserys said as well, he's just he's not self-serving. He gives good advice. He takes it very seriously. His honor is everything.
Yeah, and he's willing to abandon or not abandon, but leave his post because he feels like he can't be impartial anymore.
Yeah.
Just a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. And a solid character who is very rare in that area.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to see how that happened with characters similar to him in Game of Thrones as well, with Ned Stark. Same thing. They tend to not last very long, except I guess this guy, he's not dead, and of course he served his hand for 10 years, but always something bullshit has to happen. So, what do you think of what's his name, Larys?
Larys, yeah, he reminds me a lot of Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings. Isn't it Grime or Wormtongue? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's basically the same character, he's standing behind you, whispering stuff in your ear. Has the stupidest family sigil or whatever. Fucking beetle. Or what it is, a grub or something?
Yeah, I can really tell.
No.
And also, of course, he reminds me a little bit about Littlefinger. And like a shittier version of Varys.
Yeah.
But he is kind of like I felt like they wrote his intelligence and stuff, and scheming pretty well. But what I don't get is, he got those prisoners, right? And he cut out their tongues, and he had them set the fire to Harrenhal and kill Harvin Strong. But why in the Seven Hells did they wear his sigil when they were carrying out that mission?
Yeah.
Is this just to make it explicitly clear to the viewer that, oh, by the way, in case you missed it, in case you went to the toilet, these people, they're working for Larry's.
Yeah.
I hope that's not it. It has to be, right? I mean,
I hope they don't know how to write, because the
yeah.
tongue thing is kind of a waste. Yeah,
Yeah, I
cool
mean,
enough. But what kind of irked me is they should have been able to break down that fucking wood door he burned on the other side.
I guess so.
Like one really buff dude is like trying to break it down from the inside, while Papa stands outside with a fucking crowbar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was a little bit like not the most believable, I suppose. But I think the sigil thing bothered me the most. It's like I completely understand if they're supposed to serve as his dark servants, you know, from now on, and that they wear the sigil then. But why would they wear it to a covert mission where if they get caught, they can just be like, oh, these guys are carry the sigil of the cripple.
Okay.
It's probably him.
So it might be that like that sigil is at the moment only on his like cane, and
Sure.
no one knows what it is, and it might be some sort of like rumor spreading or trying to make people fearful of some band of like outlaws. I don't know.
It could be,
I'm
but
trying
isn't he
to find
also?
reason in this.
Yeah, I know, but the problem is that, considering, I guess it was of the quote unquote important characters of Harrenhal, it was only Harving that died, right? And his father is still alive.
I don't know.
Which means, and he's Laris' father as well. So wouldn't he recognize that?
Well, if that is their family sigil, I guess it would be to blend in. When I think about it, makes sense, doesn't it? So that they could just walk into Harrenhal, as they did. Like they were just there helping to put out the fire and stuff.
True. I guess that makes sense.
Let's go with that. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I mean, it just baffles me that people coming in hooded in robes just as something conspicuous happens and no one's like, huh, that guy looks kind of shady. But I guess maybe he did. No, actually the father died in the fire as well.
Yeah, he did. I thought he did.
Okay, well in that case, it's different because I thought it was only the son.
Yeah, I guess Laris is probably aspiring to be Hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Laris, yeah, maybe he's trying to bed Alicent as well.
I mean, he can be a very cool character, and he is a bit.
Kind of is.
Yeah, but he misses the charm and the extreme wit and the subtle playing both sides that both Varys and Littlefinger had, and I feel like they're supposed to fill the sort of same role.
Yeah.
He's just not that interesting.
You know who he reminds me of?
Yeah.
He's a shittier version of Sandan Glokta from First Law. Because he's also a cripple, and intelligent, and a torturer. Or like an inquisitor. He's just far less likable, I guess.
Yeah, but he also has the power of being a cripple, which is you're most likely invisible. Most of the time, people don't really care about you. You won't even look in your direction. We'll see. And we also know that there are like super secret tunnels all through King's Landing.
Yeah.
Does he know about them?
I assume he will, or that he does. I'm not sure.
I mean the whole sex thing with Rhaenyra was behind closed doors, wasn't it? I believe there was like one maid who left the room. Like several people obviously saw it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I, you know.
Mm.
What do you think of Rhaenyra as a character and Alicent?
I absolutely loved both of them up until the 10-year time skip.
Mm-hmm.
I like this happened to me when I started watching the newest episode. Like most of the characters I enjoyed and liked, and I thought they had cool personalities and like ambitions and whatever, how fucked up they were. All of them lost it after the time skip. Like they've like reverted to sort of a shallow version of themselves. They've just accepted life. All the fire and the ambition is gone. It's probably just like I'm hoping it's just a way to sort of portray that I don't know, time has passed and the rivalization or the hate or the fight between Daemon and Viserys and like the rebellion of Rhaenyra has come to an end. They've sort of accepted their fate. I don't know. Like I've read what the main sort of civil war is going to be. I don't know the facts about it. I just know that who is gonna be at war with each other. So I know she's gonna like get up and go again.
Yeah.
And I hopefully she teams up with Daemon. But I don't know.
Is this Rhaenyra or
Rhaenyra, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I read, since we're doing spoilers, I read is it gonna be a civil war between Rhaenyra and Aegon? Aemon? No, Aemon is his little brother.
Aegon. Is it Aegon?
Yeah, it's Aegon.
Yeah,
it's his
Aegon,
name after the Conqueror, yeah.
Greens and the blacks. I mean, these might be spoilers for people who have seen the show as well, who doesn't know the. But I mean, people can guess this now, right?
So
you know, it's already happening.
For what I just said, spoiler warning. If you're listening to this backwards.
Yeah, well, yeah. In case you're one of those a million IQ people that listen backwards. But I think, to be fair, it's fairly obvious that it's where they're headed, right?
Yeah, I think that's obvious. It's just who are gonna be the players. That is what I'm curious about, and like just seeing Daemon there, sort of complacent but still sad, just sitting in his fucking castle.
Yeah.
And it's like all the the rage and the cockiness and stuff is gone, for now at least.
I think that's only for now.
Yeah,
I think you can only cage him
I think so as well. It just left me with this bad taste in my mouth, and fucking what's her name? The Queen.
Yeah.
She's become a right bitch. Jesus Christ. I really enjoyed her and kind of sort of following her as stepping into the queen role as a young woman, marrying such an old guy.
Felt sorry for her.
Yeah, but she still seemed to be extremely like mentally strong and smart.
Yeah.
But now she's just like spiteful, or she's afraid for her heir, right?
Yeah, but she's very afraid. She's
that's the thing. I almost don't buy it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I feel like maybe there should have been one more episode to kind of let this build up a little bit more. I mean, okay, it does happen to some extent. You see a turning point in the previous episode when she comes in wearing the green dress, which of course is the color her house wears when they go to war.
Yeah.
And the events there does flip a switch with her. But then you don't really see her do much after that, because that's the end of the episode. And then boom, 10 years later, and now they're suddenly like at each other's throats all the time.
Yeah, and it was like, she was like, Rhaenyra, did you fuck your uncle?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I didn't. And it was true. And then it turned out she fucked some other guy.
Right.
And she also threw a fit. Like, I guess it's her, like, duty as queen to protect the fucking princess's virginity.
Virtue.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah. The arc is baffling me a little bit. But I think it's mostly a problem with pacing. because I do think a lot of this could have been solved. Like I said, if they had maybe like one more episode to let this sort of simmer a bit more, to see, because it's such a jarring, change.
Yeah.
Even though it's been 10 years. And I knew that I instantly disliked her more when, as soon as Rhaenyra gives birth, it's like immediately it's like, the queen demands to see the baby.
Yeah, and it's just like in spite.
Yeah.
Like,
just like, fuck
yeah.
you.
Pisses me off. That's the worst kind of people, like in real life as well, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And of course, I feel a bit sorry for Viserys as well, because he's the guy who, yeah, you can call him weak, but he still really just wants everybody to get along.
Yeah, and he's also been king in like purely peacetime. It's like there's the whole thing by the stepstones and stuff, but
Yeah.
that's sort of semi dealt with by third party,
Yeah.
whatever. I actually enjoyed him as an old man with missing an arm and getting the old people like sort of spots in your face and on your forehead.
Yeah.
And the thin hair. I really enjoyed him, and he's done. He's like, no, please, can we just be friends? Enough with this.
and when Rhaenyra was like suggesting that her and Alicent marry their houses again, all that kind of stuff, and he's like, yes, it's a great proposition, let's do this. And you're like, yeah, I kind of agree with Viserys, because that's probably what it would take to make Targaryen house strong again and make them go in a better direction.
Yeah.
And also it's like, no, fuck you, husband. Oh, I'm sorry, my king. We're not gonna do that. God damn. Frustrating.
Actually, I remember now, because it dawned on me earlier, the actual reason the biggest reason she's mad at Rhaenyra. Because it's Rhaenyra's fault that her father got, like, fucked,
Yes and no. Because
I know.
chose to... I mean, she was the catalyst, but he chose to...
The thing is, she lied. Or she didn't lie, but she kind of lied. She did, and then if she had admitted to, I fucked a random guy.
I don't think that would have been as bad as Daemon, to be honest.
And it's royalty, so they just, like, swipe it under the rug.
Yeah. And the problem is unfortunate circumstances, I guess, coincidences that made the lie spiral out of proportion. And because if she had just admitted to just banging Kristen Cole, I just don't think he would have been as bad. It's not even necessarily that he would have... Maybe he would have been taken away from the King's Guard, but I do not think he would actually have been executed and whatnot,
No. He wouldn't be, what's it called? Dishonorably discharged. He didn't get killed, did he? He was just banished?
Kristen Cole?
No, the Alicent's father.
Yeah, I think... yeah.
He just had to leave, right?
Yeah, he just had to leave back to...
Wherever.
Back to his... Yeah, don't remember.
Hightower?
I guess it's Hightower, yeah.
Oh.
But I also did not like him that much, to be honest.
No.
A well-written character, though, but it's just that he was just using his daughter as a pawn, a political tool. I guess he loved her in some capacity, but he had no qualms about using her for whatever she was worth,
No. I mean, I thought it was a really good character. It was very, very obvious to us that he was doing a play, Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
I did enjoy when you heard the bear and the lady fair being sung.
That was a good callback to when poor Jamie lost his hand.
Yeah, and I was sitting... Did you see the young kid studying with Viserys? And he was like, now, Eddard, you have to leave. And I was like semi-paying attention. I was like, wait. Oh, right, it's like 150 years until it's born. Never mind.
Oh, right. You thought... yeah.
Like, I don't think I actually thought it. It was just my mind went, hey, Eddard. That's familiar. I was like,
Yeah, maybe live to be 150 just
Yeah,
using
or
honor
he's
as
probably
sustenance.
Eddard the Third or something.
Yeah, of course.
I guess it's a northern name.
Yeah. Because I do believe that House Stark will come into play later.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm missing. I know that at this point, like, as much as King's Landing is the center of Westeros in Game of Thrones, it's really the center of everything here.
Yeah.
I know that's how it is, but I want to see the other places at this time.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a little bit hard to do in this story, since the story is very laser focused on one house. But I guess some spoilers from the book. There is a Stark character that's gonna come in later, which I predict is gonna be a fan favorite, because in the books he is a badass. And he's just like he's like the Westerosi Giga Chad. So I'm really curious to see how he's gonna be. But my question is then, because he's probably not gonna be here until the next time skip. So is he gonna be in this season, or is he gonna be in the next season?
I have no idea who we're talking about.
Well, I guess I'll leave it at that. But then that's why I was wondering, because there is at least one more time skip. Because all the kids have to grow up more.
Yeah.
Before all the crazy stuff takes place. And since they just did a time skip here, the one thing is that they've gone through quite a few significant events in that time period fairly fast. So I'm wondering, like, are they gonna do that next time skip soon in this season, or is it gonna be, this season is gonna end right as that happens, so to speak,
Did you read the name of the remaining episodes?
I did.
Did they make you any smarter as to what is gonna happen?
Yeah. What I can say is that it at least sets up it seems like it at least sets up the players and factions completely before the war. So I'm guessing maybe the war itself happens next season.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I assume that the next season is gonna be very crazy, very, heavy and impactful.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I just wonder when it's gonna come out. Is it gonna come out like 2024? Or 5?
I see Alan Taylor. Do you know who that is? He's the director.
Yeah.
Did a lot of the early episodes of Game of Thrones. He's gonna return for season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, and as far as I understood, one of the showrunners quit after this season. So there were 2, but for the next one only 1 remains. So I wonder how that's gonna be.
Yeah, I see this guy. He did like Baelor and Fire and Blood, Valar Morghulis, Beyond the Wall, pretty sick episodes. Maybe not Beyond the Wall so much because it's like season 7, but yeah, pretty hype.
Those episode titles just reminded me of better times. Man, Early Thrones was the best. The books are still great though. I'm very excited for Winds of Winter, for whenever the hell that comes out. Because there's so many cool characters and so many things that got left out of the show. And the fates of the characters are very different. Everything is just more exciting.
You know what I think?
What?
I think Martin is waiting for global warming to really set in, so we get like a 10-year long winter, and then he's gonna release his book.
Yeah, and then he's gonna, of course, freeze himself down using that ice, so that when that 10-year period ends and it starts to melt, that's when he's gonna release A Dream of Spring. Yeah, of course. Why didn't I think of that? He probably has the money to do that now.
Can you imagine if our world turned into fucking 10-year long winters? Jesus Christ.
I mean, And then robot dinosaurs are gonna start roaming.
Hopefully not.
I mean, it's gotta be some kind of apocalypse sooner or later, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that I either survive it or that I don't live to see it.
Yeah. Better get in that game time, people.
Yeah, better do it now.
Better buy games on day one, you never know.
Yep, that's true. Limited edition as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love that limited edition God of War Ragnarok once the apocalypse hits.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch my God of War PS5 controller melt as my face is melting.
You can melt together. You can become one with the controller. Yeah. And then you survive somehow in like a Mad Max future, and then you become.
I become PSN.
Yeah.
I become the new what's the network called in Terminator again? Skynet? No.
Skynet.
Yeah, that's I will become the new Skynet.
Yeah. You have Bluetooth integration. Oh no. Yeah.
Okay,
that's great.
So, I have like one, I guess my final thought on actually something I miss. I remember like most Game of Thrones episodes, you have like extremely like riveting endings. It wasn't necessarily super hype or super action packed or whatever, but you would really want to know what happened next, right?
Yeah.
Don't get that much here, I feel.
No.
It's like a lot of fade. It's almost like it's been like a couple of fade to black endings, or just people standing there watching the fucking sea or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, cool.
It's very much watch the storm as it gathers in the horizon kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like when it's gonna be one episode each week kind of thing, you have to keep people like invested or pique their curiosity. Make them really want to tune in next week, because as I would rather want to watch this in like 1 or 2 days maybe this season.
Yeah,
just like
true.
Gush in it, then maybe I'd be a bit more invested.
Yeah, I mean some shows are like that. Better binged. Yeah, I don't know. It's I am torn on this one, but I am positively inclined.
Yeah.
And I am gonna finish it, and I am still intrigued. I still want to see a lot of the clusterfuck that's about to happen, or is going to happen. And what I can hope for, or like what I'm looking forward to more than anything when it comes to TV, is that once most of this is done, the new anime season is gonna hit. And this new season is just gonna be an apocalypse for my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's probably the most stacked season I've ever come across. Which is insane. So yeah, there's that. And at least this is something to tide us over until, God of War, Warzone 2, what else? Dark Tide, all that stuff comes out.
World of Warcraft Classic Glitch King is coming out tonight.
Oh yeah, that's tonight, isn't it?
Brand new game.
Brand new game.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a good time, I think.
I hear a lot of people are fairly excited for this. I guess this is classic WoW at its best.
It depends on who you ask. Like the first, like vanilla and the 2 first expansions are most the fan favorites.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I have at least a couple of friends that started a guild for the occasion, and they're just like getting pumped.
Yeah, that I guess depends when you got into WoW. Like this was my good time, when we at fucking videregående.
High school?
Yeah.
Yeah. The interesting part about Lich King is that, because I never played WoW at any extended period of time. Not my type of jam. But thanks to first year high school and mostly hanging out with people within my homeroom class, including you, right? And most of them also, of course, played fucking WoW.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone else at the time, so I just had to fucking sit there and listen to you guys talk about WoW. So to the point where I know a lot of fucking jargon and words and like fucking terminology, character names, raid names, you fucking name it. Enough that I could, you know, pretend to know what I'm talking about to my boss, who's a huge WoW fan at the work, you know. So for some stupid reason, this knowledge came in handy. But I still haven't seen 90% of what you guys talked about, but I know the context of it.
Yeah, that was a good time. Can you imagine like going from like our previous school where there was this one guy playing WoW, and then suddenly you have like 15 people who's on every day.
Yeah, I can imagine. I just never partook in that experience.
I think you're better off without it. Maybe.
Well, I don't feel like I missed anything.
You didn't miss out on much from the game itself, but it's the social aspect that's it's the main thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the social stuff picked up in second year. That's when it really started getting into its own groove, and it got a lot better. So, I mean, I didn't have to talk about WoW anymore. But also, that's the genesis of biology and the religion of K. So,
yeah,
pretty legendary times. May K protect and watch over us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna wrap up the episode there.
Yeah, I'm good at least.
Yeah, I am too.
Gotten some negativity out of my system.
Yeah, next time it's gonna be my turn because Rings of Power, that show has lost me completely. But I also am trying to lobby our good old pal Hammer to join for the next review of Rings of Power, I guess
has he seen anything of it?
I didn't get the impression he has yet, but I guess he will.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to the last episode and we're gonna do that review, I hope that his kid is gonna be big enough that he can, you know, get those 2 hours in to sit and record with us.
Carry the ring to Mordor?
Yes. As I'm sure he would probably do it in 2 hours.
You know, last time I came with 2 things I wanted to see in the Lord of the Rings series. You remember?
I don't remember right now.
The Balrog and Tom Bombadil.
Right?
And you haven't seen any more episodes, right?
No.
Okay, one of them came through.
I'm guessing it's the Balrog.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say.
Well, you can tell me off the record, I guess. Because I will watch them. Yeah. Fatigue is telling me don't do it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening. What do you think about House of the Dragon? Does it hold up? Does it save Game of Thrones from its shitty last seasons? Or maybe even like those seasons? In that case, what the hell is wrong with you? Otherwise, what do you think? Just let us know. Let's make a discussion or something. I don't know. Thanks for listening anyways. Like and subscribe. Stay humid.
Stay dank.
Bye-bye.